All right. We are in the house. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room. We did a little impromptu pod today because we just gonna do some year-end review, getting ready for season 2. Season 1 was great. Me and Sif Dog is in the house, and we're gonna wait on Miss Clark's golf life. She'll be here soon, but we just gonna give it up for Sif Dog.
Make a clap to this.
To show our appreciation for your support.
Make a clap to this.
All right. And then
MannyUp.
Manny. And we'll give Trish her intro when she gets it together. Okay. All right. What's going on, Big Sif?
Man, what's good with your brother, man? Merry Christmas to you, man.
Man, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all that good stuff is coming around and it's already left us. It's a good time, good time. And, man, it's been raining in Cali for about a week and a half, messing up golf, messing up everything, man. It's horrible. How the weather out by you?
Well, actually, man, here in the Carolinas, it's been the last 3 days, 70 degrees, and that's unbelievable for this time of the year for us. But we do see the weather kind of changing. Still going to be warm the rest of the week, but we're going to get some rain in the next week. It's supposed to get cool, so okay. And that's normal for us. But Cali, all the rain, man. Oh, there she is. I was making plans getting out there, man. Y'all got too much rain going on.
Man, I'm telling you, yeah. We thought we was gonna do some golfing and some chilling. My birthday's in a couple days, and I'm golfing. I'm a drink. Miss Clark's golf life might have been out there.
I was gonna cut up and take some of y'all. I was gonna take me some Cali money.
Oh man, please! You would have been out in them hills, all up in the mountains, searching for a ball under bushes and stuff like that. It ain't flat here, my friend. The golf is not flat. It's forest carries, canyons.
We got some hills here. We got some hills in Florida.
Okay. Oh, nice. I thought y'all was a little flat or swampy. I wasn't sure about that.
Depends.
Anyway, I'm glad you made it. What up, though? Well,
your voice just went out.
There, because she muted herself. Oh, there she go. Let's give her a clap. She done muted herself. All right. What's going on, Miss Clark?
Nothing, just maintaining. Definitely, hanging in there with everything. Golf has shown to be my peace. It's been my peace before, but just going through, losing my mom or whichever, it has truly, truly shown to be my absolute peace. Just, I can get out there, not think about too much of anything. And then when I get back, I can handle the business I got to handle or whatever. But when I tell you the love from the groups and the whole golf family and everybody and you guys, when I tell you it has been everything, and it has truly, 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 it's helped me a lot, because not only just the condolences, just via Facebook, right? But I've had individuals that's lost loved ones through this year that have messaged me or hit me up on via text or whatever, or even called just to share, their experience, or, just, hey, take your own time in your morning or whichever. And it's helped out a whole bunch. So I definitely want to say thank you so much to everybody, through this whole.
That's good stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, it's tough. I think we all have varying ages. I think you're the youngster. I think me and Sif is pretty similar in age, but we're at that age where we do start having to care for parents that's elderly, checking in and actually losing some of our parents at this age. I lost mine in 2019 around I think it was August, but it's that time. It's that time in our lives, that circle, the circle of life. It's a circle for everyone. No one's gonna get away with not involving themselves in that circle of life. And I'm just glad we have family and extended family to ease some of the losses we have.
Yeah, definitely thinking about you, Trish, praying for you. When I saw the news, my heart went out to you, so I reached out. made sure you were good. I could, I still have both of them. I couldn't even imagine. I lost my grandmother years ago, and that was one of the toughest things that I have ever gone through. And for you to lose your mom, and Manny, your mom as well, I couldn't even imagine. So my heart goes out to the both of you guys. Man.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's tough and it gets better, but that's why it's so imperative that we do as much as we can when we can now.
Yeah.
No
No
regrets.
doubt.
No regrets.
No doubt.
No regrets. Both my parents are gone, and no regrets. They did the best as long as fast, and they had good lives too. Sometimes that gives you some comfort when your family have good lives. Like I seen pictures of Tricia and her mom, and her mom was a gangster. She was on the boat, she was golfing, gambling,
Cigars. Yeah.
doing the
Y'all
cigars.
know what I got. Y'all got to know where I got it from. When I tell you
That's
that
what I'm saying.
woman.
So just looking at that, reflecting back on her life and your guys together, it may not mean that now, but it's going to bring you comfort knowing that people lived and people lived well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a whole lot of suffering, and it wasn't a whole lot of struggle. Struggle breeds confidence and gets your grind on. But I'm just glad that all of our families and loved ones lived well and did the best they could.
Yep. I tell my daughter that all the time, man. I said, hey, when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. And so I'm prepared. My life for you, I'm preparing you in my death. So I hope you're ready. Get ready.
Exactly. My daughter's the same way. Yeah. Get it going. Let's go. Let's live. The one thing I can tell you from being over 50, and half the time they ain't gonna listen to you, but they listen. But they always listen. Whether they acknowledge they're listening to you is another story. But what you tell them now will reappear in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they be like, "My dad always said this. My mom always said this." They really do listen. So I just tell them, like, keep it 100, live. Nothing's promised, nothing's given, and when it's all done, it's done. Look up. I seen what Tiger said to his son. He was used to having little fits after bad shots, and it was carrying over to his other shots. And he was reviewing his scorecards, and he was like, "What's these 9s and these 10s on these numbers?" That he's like, I don't really coach my son, but I can't sit back and allow these 9s and 10s. And he looked and he knew exactly what it was. He would get frustrated at a shot, and he would carry that shot into the second shot, the third shot, and so on and so forth. And he looked at him and he was like, I don't care if you get mad or you get a little frustrated, but when it's time to go to the next shot, you need to be hitting that next shot.
Right.
Just like you breathing. Right. If you can't breathe, you don't live. If you don't concentrate on this next shot, like it's nothing in the world, you don't live. So same, I tell my kids, I'm like, look, keep pushing, you make mistakes, you fall down, you get back up, but live every moment righteously, hopefully, but live every moment. So we decided to just jump on. We wasn't gonna come back until the new year, but I was like, let's just do like a year-end review. It's our first season. We got a lot accomplished. We have, the guests that's been on this show, the expert opinions, the expert testimony, the expert life lessons and legends that's been on this show, and aspiring legends that's been on this show. We just wanted to give a shout out to them, and just thank them for being on the show. Remind people, go back, look at the old shows. They're in perpetuity on the YouTube channel. You can always catch up. They're on every podcast network where you can listen in your car or your house during the holidays or when you have some downtime. So I'm just going to go through a brief call out. So, our first guest on our second podcast, we had the beautiful uh, let me get her name correctly.
In terms to acquire.
Let me get her name correctly. It was, I know, Trish can do it. It was Dr. Keisha Bates, and she
Right.
was a chiropractor, and she wanted to get us healthy and wanted to get our back and our movement right. Trish, just speak on Keisha just briefly, and because you made the contact, and she was just a
Yeah.
beautiful woman owning her own business, and I think in the Atlanta area.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So Miss Keisha, she was amazing. We had her come on just because we wanted to make sure, we wanted to talk about the pros and cons about, what a chiropractor can do, for, your back, for your game of golf, just your life within itself. And so, like literally, I just went this week and was adjusted again. And again, it's been since we had her on the show that I went to go see the chiropractor, and I sit here and I kick myself every time. Why don't I go regularly? Because when I go, it's instant gratification. Like I had my little hip joints was hurting. I had played probably 7 out of 9 days of golf just recently or whatever, and so my whole back was out of shape, and so I just remember I was like, let me go to the chiropractor. We talked about this. It helps, and legitimately, this man readjusted me. I mean, I think I seen him for less than 10 minutes, and I walked out of there like I was floating on air. So
Oh,
again, yeah, we had her on there just to talk about the pros and cons. She was out of Atlanta. She's doing great things. So that's why we had her on the show.
No, she was dope, man.
yeah,
Yes,
very
yes.
nice. And then of course we got our mental coach on episode 3. Our guy, he's a recurring guy. Another
Yeah.
real
Robert Price.
Yeah,
Mr. Robert Price. He gonna
yeah.
get you right. He's been on several shows. He'll continue to be on several shows because even with a great back and arms and legs, if your mind ain't right, you ain't right. So let's get it
Mm-hmm.
together.
It's that 6 inches.
And then we dove on in, to our found appreciation and love, our second family, our HBCU golf family. And I'm just gonna go, Fame U, Howard, Winston-Salem, Prairie View. I think those are the 3, and we got more to come. And we just took a love to them, and thank God. Thank God for the HBCU golf. That is going to be a gateway to our youth getting into this golf business. I'm just not going to say playing or pro business. It's a
Mm-hmm.
$billion business. And the best way to be ready and to be prepared is to go through college and get your golf and college on, and you'll be ready to tackle some of this. So when we're older, we'll look back and we'll be like, hey, look at those youngsters. They're running the game, or they got a big hunk of the pie.
Hey, and to add to that, Manny, about the HBCUs having them on, I think that we brought attention to their respective universities and institutions, and
Mm-hmm.
something came from that,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
whether it
I
be
would like to think so.
yeah, man, from Florida A&M from a monetary standpoint, and Trish got Mr. Campbell and Florida A&M connected. I mean, it was, and then you had Winston-Salem State. I played in the 100-hole marathon, and so a lot of that
Yeah,
stemmed right from here.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, what
that's
families end up getting their simulator, through the APGA and those donations. They got that simulator that they said they wanted. When we asked the question, hey, what's the 3 things that your program could use aside from money? Because we all know financial is what they need.
Right.
And it was a simulator, it was a TrackMan, and a golf course. Hey, they're 2 for 3 right now. So, and it's
I
just
mean, that's
kind of
crazy.
yeah,
That's
ask not,
that's
receive
crazy.
not. We got to put
Yeah,
it out
yeah.
there.
That's
It was dope.
crazy. It's just not us promoting, but I'm glad we are one in the pie that's promoting and doing anything we can. We've made great friends. We've made really family with our HBCUs, and hope to have as many as possible on next season. Uh,
Absolutely.
and then we had our pros, professionals, first contact. Our youth, our kids are not going anywhere without first contact. So we was blessed enough to have legends and self-starters with the LPGA professionals and PGA professionals, and the list is just great. I know you have probably some shout outs. Trish, you just want to shout out some of your LPGA professionals that's been on and that's reached out to you, and you know.
Oh man, oh, we had so many. So who we had?
I'm leaving.
Paula Pearson, Ashanti Epps, Mackenzie
That's right.
Mack, Jamie Taylor, Ashley McLaughlin, Shasta Avery Hart. I mean, we had some really, really Onita, out in Georgia. We done had some folks on the show, and we absolutely loved it because again, when we had those ladies on, where I didn't know, and I'm sure many other women didn't know, but so what's the difference? Or even men, what's the difference between a PGA professional or LPGA professional? Or when you're an LPGA professional, what is it to mean, to be a Class A or the different certifications? So it was absolutely wonderful to have these ladies on here to speak on that, and we're so thankful to have them on there. And anytime they're doing anything, or like we have the African American, we have the Monday before the show coming up here in January. So before the PGA show down here in Orlando, the ladies have gotten together, and I think it's like the third year, maybe this is the third annual, but they're going to bring the ladies together at Rogers Park with help of Kenny Sims, which we're going to have on the show starting up in January with Kendall Murphy with Troon
Yes.
Golf. So we got a great
Yes.
show lined up with Kenny Murphy. He's with the Tampa
Starting off
Sports
right.
Authority. Yeah, he's with the Tampa Sports Authority, and he's working with those ladies that are hosting, which is Ashanti Epps, Paula Pearson, and Onita Castillo. So those three ladies with Kenny Sims, we're hosting ladies here at Rogers Park here in my neck of the woods, my favorite golf course down here, and
That's
it's
right.
exciting. It's exciting. So it's
Connections,
just great.
connections, family, building. We always say we want to build the pie so everybody's piece is big.
Right.
We're gonna get to that topic to talk about how we build the pie and how everybody's piece can be more than what they need. And we went on, we had actual players, like you said. We had 4 or 5 ladies that played on the Symetra Tour this year and was out there grinding. Some great future stars in the making. Some veterans that's showing them young girls how to do it and still being heavily influenced in golf. We had one of 3 African American caddies on, probably the most popular. Wayne knows.
Wayne Bird.
Yeah.
That's our guy right there.
Terrell,
Yeah. Them cats is dope.
Keeping it cool. And Terrell, he's just a wealth of information and knowledge also. Then we had Jim Dent on, a legend, and his grandson. What a treat that was. And I think we ended the year with Super Golf Pro. And what's the young lady's name? Let me go, because I will butcher people. I will butcher it up, and I don't want to. Tiana Jones, PGA Class A professional. Running that Top Golf out in Cleveland, I believe.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah. She's out there trailblazing, killing it right now. And again, and what else we learned, as well as the PGA professionals was getting their teach on, we also had women that was PGA Class A also. And that was just phenomenal to understand and meet and be able to talk to these well accomplished men and women. Okay, so let's get to the topic, because we ain't gonna keep y'all long today. Respect, communication, and unity. And we came up with that because we just wanted to go into 2022 in the right mind perspective, the right code, the right energy, because it's been stated, it's been written about, it's been publicated all across golf in general, that 2022 is going to be a boom year. It's going to be a boom year. I think we're at about a 40% increase in rounds played. 30 to 40% increase in equipment bought. It's backlogged. You can barely find stuff. We're like 20 to 30% increase in some parts. I know in my parts, and green fees, inflation, or just, supply and demand. Tea times are at a premium out here in California, and I'm sure everywhere else, where you just can't just walk on anymore like we used to do. These golf courses are being used. These equipment makers are selling. These apparel companies are popping up by the dozen. And we want to make sure that our peoples, get a piece of that. And the best way, I believe, and I want you guys to chime in, to get a piece of all that we just spoke on, is to move in our space with some code, with some, not rules, but just some code, some gentlemen and gentlewomen, respect, a little communication, which will bring some unity. I am, and I'm going to get off my soapbox and let you guys jump in soon. I am one to believe bosses can do what they want. Can't tell a boss what to do. Can't nobody tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want. But within that vein, as a man or as a boss, I got to adhere to some code. I just can't do whatever I want willy-nilly and not think there is some code involved on how I move, how my energy is, and what I do. And that goes for golf, that goes for other businesses I'm in, that goes with just dealing with friends and family. There's a code that I move by that is non-written, but I think it keeps me on a more righteous path, that I can curb my own self. I can bring in my own bad habits or my own character flaws and try to stick with that code. And I know a lot of people think that us as a podcast have known each other for 10 years or more on how we interact and how we do our business. But we all came together, and I'm not going to take all the credit, because it takes a team to do something big and to do something smooth. You don't hear, podcast family, gossips and talk about the Golf Locker Room podcast. We on one mission. We are on the same page with different personalities. Everybody runs their own things. Everybody's a boss. And guess what? We came together seamlessly because we all moved with code. And I just figure if we can do that, I mean, we share intellectual property, we share business opportunities. It's never been an argument. It's never even been anything up for crazy discussion. It's like, okay, we move here. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Because we was all moving in code. We was all moving in unity. We was all moving in the same direction. And so I just like to take what we do, and hopefully it will, not that everybody has to do what we do, but hopefully they can take something that was made in our golf community around the Facebook groups and in IG groups, and how everybody comes together on that social media, create a real business that's organized and thriving. I bet we're new, but we're still moving, and we're our business, and we are thriving, and we're fine. And we have friends across the spectrum of our golf community. Some like each other, some don't. Some don't know each other. Some want to get to know each other. But we move in all circles. We do not have favorites, and we do not have this people on because these people don't. We move. I'm looking for a word, but we move fairly. Not the word I wanted, but we move fairly. Neutral. That's what I want. We're neutral. To have a platform to talk and have guests on across many different disciplines, you have to be neutral. You can't show love to this one, and you need to show love to this one. So we move with a code. With that said, I'm just gonna just divert to Miss Tricia and Sif for your inputs on how we move and how our code is, or what do you think our influence should and can and is?
Well, for me, when you reached out to me about the podcast, I'm my thing is I'm sure that it was an interview. You have been probably interviewing me the whole time prior to, and so the thing with me is consistency and transparency. I'm coming with my pants down so you can see all of me and who I am. So it wasn't by mistake that
That's right.
you reached out to me and said, bro, would you like to be a part of the podcast? It's not by mistake that, and not pulling my string by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not by mistake that everybody loves Sif, because Sif is consistent. Sif is consistent. He's transparent, and he's the same person every single day. So that's contagious, man. And I don't come. I'm not a wolf in sheep's clothing. I am who I am every day, 7 days a week, and so you're gonna get the real Sif. Now, the thing for me, you said that, and I agree with you, man. You said that you were a boss. I feel like I'm a boss in some regard. But the thing that bosses do is they don't circumvent power, and they believe in the power, the chain of command. That's how they remain. That's how they remain bosses. So you never saw anyone that tried to circumvent or step over Tukey Williams, because they knew that he set the bar. So everything under him were soldiers. Now, the thing is, if I have a problem with the boss should have enough respect for me where we can step outside and have a conversation about what's taking place, instead of me trying to circumvent or go around or breaking the chain of command. That's just what you call being a soldier going to the boss. But what tends to happen with us is we look at someone at a top tier, look at someone as a boss. Then what we do is we think that we can do the job better than the guy who's already accomplished. So then what we try to do is we try to circumvent the power. We try to go around. We try to create a pocket over here, a pocket over there, to create a coup to knock the boss off the top of the chain of command. And what ends up happening is when you associate, or when you get over here in this pocket, you get over here in this pocket, and you try to create that coup, and say you get enough ammunition and you win. Then when you become the boss, you have no idea what the hell to do, because you don't have any experience, because you've never been a soldier. And so when you've never been a soldier, and then ultimately when you get in that position to be a boss, you have no idea what to do. But you have to understand something. The way that you try to create a coup to knock off the boss, somebody's always trying to create a coup to knock off you. So play your position. Play your position. And I'm a firm believer of that, man. If Manny is not one time, I've always edified Manny and say, Manny put this together. Tricia and I are just we're co-hosts. We're all co-hosts, but Manny put this shit together. And never one time have I ever tried to outdo, go around. I always ask Manny for permission. If I need something, hey Manny, do you mind? Because I understand the chain of command. We don't understand the chain of command, and what tends to happen is we put ourselves further and further and further back than we started. And and what we do to one another is what the system has done to us, and we just repeat this damn cycle of the system to our own people.
It's true. Let's get that up. Miss Clark's golf life.
Yeah, so I like that. And that just goes to say, we talk about respect, we talk about communication, we talk about unity. So, we respect one another on this podcast. And what I love about it, when Manny did reach out, and, it's me, it's Manny, it's Sif, and, and we're doing the podcast, it was like, and then what I love is there's not at one point where it's anybody that's been beaten on their chest. If there's something, we come together as a three. We communicate amongst each other. We discuss, we decide, and we move. You know, and so that's the thing about the communication. When communication is flawed, it brings in issues. When there's no respect, it brings in issues. And when you don't have neither one of those two, you have no unity. There is no unity. And how does that go for the podcast? And like, Manny and, Steph said, we're here for the one cause, the bigger cause, us in golf, highlighting us and all the great things that are being done in golf. One of the things that we run across is, you know, um, trying to Steph was saying, when you try to circumvent something or you try to outdo somebody, we are so, it's cliche when they say, united we stand, divided we fall, but it is so real. Like what happens when, one person's doing this and rather, okay, well, I can do it better or more people like me, so I can do this and I know I'll get more people rather than, okay, let's communicate and let's see how we can come together and do it better as a whole. I come to think a lot of times folks don't worry about us, doing greater and bigger things sometimes because we will conquer our own selves. We will conquer our own selves, and it's unfortunate, but that's why we have the podcast. That's why we're open to having all to come on. It's not necessarily where we're promoting different things, but we're highlighting the HBCUs. We want to highlight the youth golf. We want to highlight the caddies that are out here. We want to highlight the GMs and the folks that are handling the greens and things, as it pertains to us in this golf world. So what I love about this podcast, I'll tell you, is as being a female in this, predominantly male dominated, sport that we love, I'm on this podcast and I'm brought in and I feel no kind of way. I don't feel no less than anything. I feel, just as, connected as, each and every last one of us. And that's the thing. Again, me personally, anything that I do, I'm not a professional. I didn't play golf in high school. I didn't play golf in college. I am new and I just love the game of golf. But I also love, diversity and inclusion. So to be able to put both of those pieces together, two things that I've loved so much and be able to, be a part of it in some way, it's my everything. And I absolutely love it. And so, and we have this platform to do so. And so why not bring more on? Why not highlight even more, and so that's the thing, we're trying to, make this thing bigger and better, not, knock anybody down or, slight anybody or down talk anybody, like we said, like Manny said, we don't sit here and we're not loyal to no one Facebook group, IG group, anything. We want to uplift all, and in any way we can. So that's how I feel about it. I love you guys, and I love the golf family, and I love what we do. And
Exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
but I'm still stuck in second, so I ain't came out of second yet. Agenda driven organizations. I believe that we all should have an agenda. I have an agenda. I'm sure you guys have an agenda. Now the thing is, we may have separate agendas, but if we come together as one, okay, we need to put our agendas on the table. Manny's agenda may be he wants to make money, which is fine. Tricia's agenda may be she wants to get on a bigger platform on a podcast, and that's fine. My agenda is maybe I want to go into the entrepreneurship about golf, and that's fine. But we can't learn about if we're an organization and we're moving forward as one unit, I can't learn about your agenda 6 months down the road. I have to know from the jump when we sit down at the table. I have to know from the beginning what your agendas are if we're together. Now, if we're separate, then your agenda is your agenda. But if we come together and we say that we're a group, we need to put out what the agendas are. And that's fine, whatever your agenda is. You don't have to hide it. but you can't find out about it 6 months down the road when somebody's trying to broker a deal, and then all of a sudden they say, well, this is my intellectual property, and then now you just now you see what I'm saying?
And
That's that
exactly.
communication. That's that communication. That's that transparency that you're talking about.
Exactly. It's
Being
true.
transparent and communicating.
That'll get you killed.
Well, exactly. I was going to say, because with any, I mean, the streets mimic life and the life mimics streets. And, you know, we've all watched The Godfather. You cannot be a boss if you kill a boss, because it'll just be a circle of killing.
Right.
No boss will be safe. Like Sif said, if you don't follow the chain of command, and I work for the government, and you got to follow the chain of command, whether you totally agree or not. That's why they have rules in place. Like if you think it is an unfair order, or you think it's going against the Constitution, then you better be right to disobey that order. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, follow the orders. Because if you can't follow orders, then you can never be a leader of orders, because you don't know how to follow the orders. Yeah. So if you think you can always kill the boss to be a boss, it never works that way. Because the same way you killed the boss to be a boss, someone was in the cut watching you killing the boss, thinking, I'm going to kill him next, then I will be a boss. Exactly. And it's a vicious cycle. The pie never gets bigger. You know, my agenda is I really want this podcast to have thousands and thousands of views and people. I want to earn that, because everybody we come on is part of our family, right? And they're doing major things in minority golf. So the bigger we are, the bigger their voices are. That's why we have to be neutral. That's why anybody and everybody that's doing something in golf has a right to come on this platform. But with that said, we got to go back to the 3 pillars to how we move, how our energy moves. And that's, you got to have enough respect that if you have a problem or if you have a misunderstanding, you have to have enough respect to have some communication. That means call or text or reach out to somebody that knows that person and have some kind of communication. And 99.9% of the time, if everybody's heart is really in there and it is the right way, and they could have their own agenda, and their agenda may not be my agenda, but they communicate it, unity can be found. Compromise, understanding could always be found. If you are in my neighborhood and you want my corner, let's keep it, let's get it really raw. You better come and get an understanding from me, because that's my corner. That doesn't mean you don't have a right to some of that corner. Just right now, the corner's mine. And if you come and try to get that corner, I'm going to take that as an act of war.
Right.
But if you came to me and you was like, hey, I got a little right to that corner like you do, let's come to an understanding. Then if I say, nah, it's just mine, go somewhere, then I can't blame that man to go to war. I didn't give him any communication. I didn't try to have some kind of understanding or some kind of unity. And so, like I said, everybody's a boss and can do whatever they want anytime they want. I just wish people would go with code, because it just works better. And so that's how we're going to do it. Like, we'll put it out there now, so it'll be no misunderstanding. We don't have apparel company people on the show per se to talk about their apparel company, because although we're friends with apparel company owners, we will wear apparel company owner stuff. We don't want to move the little guy that's coming up or the next guy and just be like, there's only room for our friends that have apparel companies. That's not fair if we say we want to be neutral. Right. In the future, apparel companies can always send their stuff. We'll wear it. We'll put it in the liner notes. We'll put up the logos if we want to. We just don't have them as guests on the show because of other people that's doing apparel stuff. And we want as many people as possible in the business. Now, it might be something else if no one's in a particular business, right? If someone's doing a golf ball or someone's doing shafts and there's no one else doing shafts, then maybe we can have that person on to talk about not just the shafts, but how did he get in manufacturing? What made that engineering work? You know, it's a different kind of
Right.
conversation
Yeah.
with certain things. Like, yeah, we had Trap Golf on, and they're a apparel company, but Wayno Drano is a PGA Tour caddy and an HBCU golf graduate. So he
Mm-hmm.
fell into a lot of boxes that got him on the show, and we was grateful
Right.
to have someone with that experience and that life on the show. He just
That's right.
happened to be a part owner in an apparel company. And I only say that to say we are neutral. Anybody that's in the community is welcome on our show if you follow this code. And instead of gossip and backbiting and some of the stuff we hear, I'm gonna always be like, did you follow these 3 things? I don't want to hear a narrative. Everyone has some truth in their narrative. But if you follow the code and you can point us back to, well, I gave him respect in the beginning because I called him. Okay, what was the
Right.
communication? Well, we had some communication. The communication kind of broke down and we couldn't come to an understanding. Hey, I could go with that too. They tried. Nothing is 100%. Everyone's not going to get along. Everyone's not going to come to an understanding. But you did try to follow some type of code so it wouldn't just be a gray area of war and nobody even knows there's a war going on.
Right.
People declaring war on family, and we don't even know that the war started because it wasn't even a catalyst to war. It was just like, oh, I feel like taking this shit. I'm going to go to war. You can't have that. We can't have that, or we can't be a part of that. We can't be a part of it. If we truly say we want the whole pie to grow, not just a pie for us, but the pie for all of us that's in this golf family, just so we want a bigger piece, then that's how we gonna move on the podcast. Any comments or follow-ups?
Yeah, I mean, and you hit the nail right on the head, Manny. And I may have come off too intense in the beginning, but I kind of there's some passion there because I understand the climate, the world we live in, as it relates to people of color and people who have always been or think they've been superior over us by keeping us out of the game. They've kept us out of the game for so long. And then when we get the opportunity to matriculate into this game, this beautiful game, then all of a sudden we're warring with one another. We're trying to cut the legs off of one another. And the common denominator should be the same. I'm a firm believer of not reinventing the wheel. So if I see a wheel that's already rotating around without any bumps and bruises or what have you, and if the person is willing to give me the information to tell me how to create that same wheel, then I'm going to listen. I'm going to go take notes, and I'm going to ask, how do I get it done? Sometimes we don't do that. And that's what drives me crazy. If you got someone that's already an alpha, that's already proven himself and accomplished, then 9 times out of 10, if you were to go to that person and say, look, I'm looking to do this. Can you help me? I guarantee you they would say, no problem. If you're willing to put in the work, I don't have a problem helping you at all. Now you become an alpha. So, but what tends to happen is that someone always thinks that they can be the better alpha. And so they lose focus on the alpha, and then they tend to go in other directions and other streams and other terrains, and the next thing you know, they miss out.
Definitely. Let's get that up. And 2022 is going to be a phenomenal year for minority golf, period. I know you guys will probably be at the PGA conference in Miami, the store, and we got a lot of people that's doing great things, whether it's just charity work or putting together tournaments or displaying their businesses. and you might see probably more in the coming years than we've ever seen of minority business. And I know us three, we just want to be excited about everybody that's going to be
Mhm.
Right.
there, and we want to be a voice to everybody. And
Right.
that means teachers, apparel companies, shoe company, whatever you're doing, we want to be like, hey, get on board, such and such and such and such. You don't have to come to kiss the feet of us, but we want to be sure that we're working and supporting people that's doing the right things, not
Mhm.
trying to tell people how to run their business or what type of tactics to use, but an overall simple code that we use with one another. And if we can get going on that, I just think our movements will be greater and faster,
Right.
because they'll just sit down and look at the pit and be like, oh, let them kill themselves. More for me. Matter of fact, let me throw a little funding in the pit, but don't put a name on it so they can all run after the same little crumb and kill themselves. Let me spark it a little bit. It's been
Yeah.
done 1,000 times before. It's because, to be totally honest, our communication and unity always hasn't been the best.
Right.
And it wasn't always because we just don't want it. It's because the powers that be like, hey, if they get unified, it's more competition for us. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
That's true.
Let's
Yeah.
let's keep that apart. Let's let's throw some chum in the shark tank and let the strongest person win. Hopefully he can kill up everybody so he can get the chum, and then we only have to deal with one person. That's the game. Let's not play that game anymore.
No.
Let's have a little respect. Don't be friends. Don't call them every day. When the mafia bosses went to dinner, whoever hosted the meeting to stop the war, they brought a pallet of jewelry, and and you passed around fine jewelry even to your enemies to make sure, look, this is about business. This
Right.
is about peace. We
Mhm.
are only talking to one another to grow the pie. We're not hanging out if we don't want to. We don't have to. It's not, I got to take orders from this. We are just have a loose organization with some code that we could grow the pie as one.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we can get on board with that. I know we on board with that. We'll never deny anybody anything that follows these codes. And that's how we want to start 2022, because it's going to be a great year for everybody. And I just want it to
Absolutely.
be a better year for everybody, not for just my personal friends or the people. I don't know a gang of people that's in our golf community. Haven't met them yet. Haven't talked to them. But guess what? I want them to grow, whatever
Yeah.
they do. I
Right.
want them to prosper. I want to be like, yeah, they were such and such. Now they doing this and doing that. I'm like, wow. I want to meet them. I want to talk to them. If I can't meet them and talk to them, I want to purchase some of the stuff, or I want to support some of the stuff. I want to give some
Yeah.
stuff, whether I know them or not. That's how we grow. That's how the pie gets bigger. That's how our pieces get bigger. And yeah, so that's how we wanted to come on and say today. We ain't gonna keep y'all long. Um, Final closing thoughts, Sif or Miss Trish?
Hmm. So again, just to piggyback off of Manny and Steph, again, if we respect one another, if we communicate, then there's always going to be unity. You keep it transparent, everything works well. And it's just where it's at. I love these guys. I love the podcast. We're looking forward to great things coming in 2022. The whole thing about the podcast again is, connecting, the camaraderie, the networking. When we have folks on the show, I may know them, Manny may know them, Steph may know them, but what we do, we connect folks, and that's a part of it too. We may know this person that they do this, so we can connect them with this, and that's kind of where it's at. Full circle. We're trying to uplift. We're not trying to be the crab in the bucket where we're snatching folks down. We want everybody to eat. Everybody to eat. So, if you have any great ideas of, who you may want to have on the show, or, maybe a topic we might want to talk, might want to talk about, or whichever, definitely, you can hit, either Manny, Steph, myself up. We'll run it across the board amongst the three of us, and we'll make it happen. So, Again, looking forward to all things 2022. Thank you so much thus far for all those that have supported us, that have came on the show, consistently. Rico, just everybody, Larry. I mean, I can't even name the folks that I know that just tell us that they go back or watch the show or watch the YouTube and they
It's a
enjoyed
blessing.
it. We just want to thank every last one of you, and we're looking forward to you to just liking and sharing. And again, let's bring it all on. Let's highlight all things that we're doing great in this game that we love.
Nice, nice. I have one question. Will the podcast allow sponsors paid advertisements in the future? Yes, we will. We wanted to do a year and fund the bill ourselves to get a footing and a foundation on how we wanted to move. Because 9 times out of 10, we kind of wanted our people to be the sponsors and the paid advertisements to pump or to promote their stuff.
Yep.
There's companies right now that'll come gobble us up. And then everybody will be like, see, they took that money. Because people don't kind of know, like, if, and I'm not saying they made us an offer, if Nike or Adidas or our rep was like, hey, let us just send you all the free stuff you want. When I was in music, we had an Adidas rep. And he just had, I swear to you, he had those lockers, those U-Haul storage facilities filled with the latest Adidas stuff. And he would come by the studio and he'll be like, come on, let's go to the thing. And we'll go to the storage units and he'd be like, get what you want. You couldn't even fit all the stuff in your car. You couldn't fit all the stuff in your car. So we don't want big companies like that to be like, go to the storage unit and pick out some stuff. Because then our smaller, now stop it, Sif, because guess what? Guess what the deal is? You can't have apparel companies after that. You see what I'm saying? You can't have a small minority-owned business that have an apparel company to come on the show because you got a storage full of Nike or Adidas, and they want you to be loyal to they're the apparel company of your show. Right. If it's a ball company, you can't be bringing on the next engineer that's making golf balls because guess what? Titleist is like, man, we paying you this to promote this ball. How you gonna have somebody else's ball on? So you're kind of, in a way, you want the monetary stuff to grow the show, but you don't want to be jailed or pigeonholed into certain things without real thought. And so that's why our first year we funded the show ourselves to be totally free to do exactly what we want. With money comes strings. No matter how great the strings are, there's still strings, and we just got to try to work something out. We got to try to work something out to see how many strings we can allow to still be free. And hopefully that answered some of the questions. But as of right now, we don't accept any sponsorships. We fund everything ourselves. And I think it's best that way to get our foot in the door and also promote any and everybody that's small too, without fees or without anything. And I think that's the best way we can do starting out. Later on, I can't promise anything. Sorry. I just can't. We just can't. Someone comes with $1 million deal, we're taking it. Sorry. Unless it's something crazy. And it don't fall into those 3 categories: respect, communication, and unity. If taking that money makes us disregard our core beliefs, then we cannot take that money. We cannot take the sponsorship. We cannot take the trips. We can't do it because you're going to be pigeonholed. Sif might do it on the side, though. I'm not sure.
Like I might be Bobby Brown. Nah, seriously, no, I definitely get that, man. Yeah. If we're who we say we are, then what Manny just stated holds true. So I'm with that 100%. For me, man, the podcast has been great. We've had some great people on here, man, from far and wide. I guess probably the most interesting piece for me with the podcast were the young ladies who about the LPGA one, and I had no idea about any of that. And so I apologize to them 1,000 times because I didn't know. And just being an avid golfer, I should know that. I should know what ladies, especially black females, have done in this game of golf, and who's aspiring to get credentials and things of that nature. So I'm going to be more of a student in 2022 as it relates to female golf and their accomplishments and what those teaching black female teachers are aspiring to be in their credentials. So once again, I want everybody to win, man. That
Man,
if you know me, I want everybody to win. I'm serious, man. Everybody. I mean, even if, like you said earlier, man, if we ain't even talking or we got a beef or what have you, I still want you to win. And so we have to create that bigger pie, man, so that everybody can eat. And but I think we're in the right direction. Also, 2022, I'm gonna make my way down to South Carolina. I'm gonna whoop Rico's ass. I'm tired.
My money's on this.
When I come down there, I'm gonna tear his damn head off, and I'm gonna tear his head off. So when I leave, it won't be any doubt that he got his head tore out the box. And also, I'm gonna try to participate in 2022. I think I was talking to Al Quarles the other day. There's a trip that will be at the memorial in Cleveland.
In Cleveland,
yeah. So I'm gonna try to.
It's somewhere in there.
Dublin. So
Dublin.
Yeah, so I've missed 2 events due to COVID and work. So hopefully that I can make my way there, and hopefully, man, in 2022 we get a chance to play together somewhere.
Exactly.
I was coming for Manny. I promise you. I was supposed to be on the plane yesterday. I was coming for Manny, and then I was gonna make my way, and I was gonna get about. I wanted to stroke on all par 4s and 5s with you, Steph. But I was gonna come for you too.
Hey, it's gotta be warm. I ain't playing in no cold weather.
It's tough. In California, it's sunny, but it's 40, 45 degrees out here. It's all bad right now.
I couldn't
You
do
still
it.
get out, but yeah. The first time to Cali, don't come when it's 45 degrees and rain. Don't do that.
Right,
we got 320 days of sun. Don't come on 40 days, 45 days of rain out of 300.
Manny helped me decide though, because I was coming and I talked to Manny.
Don't do that to yourself. I told her, I was like, don't do that to yourself. And it was my birthday, and I was going to do a dinner. We was going to go to Rodeo and do it. But I'm not sitting in the rain and driving in the rain with all these drunk young kids. They don't care it's raining. They still going to be driving 100, killing up family. So I'm going to keep myself at home.
I'm a rain check on you, Manny. I'm a rain check on you, but I'm coming.
That's right. It's coming. It's coming. And with that said, yeah, I think this was a good show. Can't wait to see you guys in 2022. Prosperity for all.
Absolutely.
Prosperity for all.
Yeah.
Our podcast will never say no to anyone doing anything righteous in the golf community. And with that said, please, let's try to follow them codes, man. Respect, communication, and then the hardest thing to achieve sometimes for us, unity. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to set it off. And with that said, I think we are out. What do you guys think?
Deuces.
Happy New Year. See y'all in 2022.
All right, we are done. Yeah, they gave me some new toys to do, some outros.